Namaskar, greetings and gratitude. I welcome you all to another inspirational Star Talks episode number 107. And today, on the hot seat with me is Miss Sudipta Chatterjee. How are you, Sudipta?
Very well. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me over today. It's an absolute pleasure.
Same here. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you. I'm honored. Miss Sudipta Chatterjee is PGT English at Delhi Public School, Arkipuram, New Delhi, and she has been teaching senior secondary classes for more than 20 years. She is an alumnus of DPS Arkipuram and has done her bachelor's and master's in English from Delhi University. At DPS Arkipuram, she has taken up dynamic roles such as being the cultural program in charge, English editorial board in charge, and theatre in charge of the school. This is so nice, Sudipta.
Thank you.
She is a CBSE resource person and has worked with NCRT for content development. She is a CBSE master trainer for competency based education and for design thinking and innovation. She was nominated by Dr. Shweta Singh, Joint Secretary, CBSE Academics, to attend the CBSE Test Development Course in Competency Based Assessments at Azim Premji University, Bangalore. This is so nice. I welcome you again, Sudipta, to the Star Talks. Sudipta, so you please tell me what inspired you to become an English teacher and how did your journey in this profession begin?
All right. So I think I would have to give credit to all the fantastic English teachers I had back at DPS Arkipuram and at the university level at Delhi University, where I did my undergrad and masters. And they were just so amazing. And I would sit in class and I would just think that, wow, it would be so lovely to maybe someday teach. So I would say that would be something that inspired me. And of course, my former principal, who actually gave me this opportunity when I was just about 21. So that's when I started with my teaching journey. And I have to give credit to my mother, who was a teacher herself. And
Okay.
she was the one who actually, inspired me from a very young age because, I've grown up seeing her and how
Okay.
beautiful she would balance home as well as school. And she actually said, why don't you give it a shot, try your luck. And maybe you might just find your passion and calling in the teaching profession. So that kind of worked out really well. And as luck would have it, I even married into a family where my mother-in-law was also a teacher. So, so
Great.
like I said, she understood the trials and tribulations of being a teacher in today's day and times. So I guess I've been pretty lucky in my journey so far, and I have all these wonderful role models around me who keep inspiring me to be my best self.
Wonderful. That's so wonderful. So, how would you describe your teaching philosophy and how do you bring it to life in your daily lessons?
Okay. So I really like this one quotation by Mahatma Gandhi, and he said that live as if you were to die tomorrow and learn as if you were to live forever. So that has
Wow.
actually been my mantra of life, to be very honest. And I feel somewhere I have managed to, inculcate that philosophy amongst my students because I tell them that it is fine to not know everything, but you need to have that humility to accept that I might not know everything, but there should be that desire, that will to perhaps find more things, find more reasons to study. And I always encourage them to be lifelong learners, and I feel as a teacher, I think I truly believe in that.
Great, great. So, what role do literature and language play in shaping students' perspectives, in your view?
So let me begin by saying that the usual way in which people look at English is that it's an easy subject, and I beg to differ because I feel that. and I say this to my students in class, that you have to see it as a life skill. You can't just say that, okay, there's an exam, you study, you give the exams at the end of the year, and that's about it. But you see, it is important to remember that someone might be very knowledgeable, but if that person is not able to communicate efficiently and with clarity, then what's the point of that knowledge, right? And literature and language, more than anything else, they teach values, the life lessons. Children learn about human relationships, which I feel is so very important. And it also reminds me of Aristotle, the Greek philosopher. So he talked about this concept of catharsis. And so catharsis is basically the purging of emotions, right? So when you're watching a play on stage, or when you're reading, you will get goosebumps, and at the same time it helps you release those emotions, because you kind of sympathize with the person who's going through some kind of challenge, but at the same time you're able to distance yourself and also experience something which may happen, may not happen, but it teaches you about life. So I feel that it's a wake up call for for parents, for other teachers, and for everyone, for that matter, to perhaps not sideline the subject so much, and to remember that it definitely becomes the foundation for every other subject. And other subjects are going to help children make their career. English will help them be a better person. And I think we all know what is it that we're going to, remember for longer: being a better person, being a better human being.
Absolutely beautiful thoughts. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, what are some of the common challenges senior students face in English, and how do you help them overcome these?
Right. So, as it's a language, we are focusing on LSRW, which is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So, over these couple of years, what I've seen is that I find that different children tend to, have issues with different aspects of language. It could be listening, it could be speaking, it could be reading, writing. So let me give you a couple of examples. So when it comes to the economically weaker section of the society, now for those children, the exposure to language is very limited. But you can't just tell them that, no, study, you have to study very hard and it'll work out. No, it's not possible. But you have to give them more practical suggestions, like listen to perhaps maybe just a short clip on YouTube. And I usually tell them, go to the BBC site and listen to English news and look at the subtitles. So
Mhm.
the pronunciation and also the accent. So when you're speaking, you
Mhm.
sound like like an English speaker, and it's not
Yes.
like the Indian English pronunciation.
Mhm.
That I feel that really helps them. And also I do have a lot of people who say that, why don't we just teach English in Hindi for them? It's easy. But personally,
Mhm.
I feel instead of
Mhm.
doing that, I mean, then how am I going to be an English teacher if I have to translate everything into Hindi? Then are they
Mhm.
going to ever learn English? That's not going to happen.
Mhm.
So I would so how English teachers are very good with enactments in class. So I would make the whatever I'm saying in English one very simple. Like I'll use very basic language, but I would also use a lot of expressions. Like I would look up to the sky, or I would look down, or I would do something through which they would be able to understand. And I am really happy to share that they not only understood, but some of them are doing brilliantly, because their English has improved. And that motivation that, this is something, if I'm good at, it's going to give me an edge. So a school like RK Puram plus an edge over English is doing wonders for them. And you can't even imagine, when you look at them now, they wouldn't even look like economically weaker section students. They look like regular students, mainstream students.
Wow,
So
that's
so
so
that's
nice.
and oh yes, since I'm giving you examples, I thought I'll give you a few more of what I've been doing. So I really help children with public speaking and communication, and I really encourage them to go for debates and go for public speaking. So one thing I tell them is, have a mirror in front of you and practice your lines, your level of confidence, the way you're speaking, everything. So that I feel that really helps them. And thanks to technology, they can now, record themselves, have a video recording, have an audio recording, hear how they are speaking, and then sort of, work on it. And these are tried and tested, so I know this is going to be very amazing.
Great. Great tips. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, how has the role of teaching changed with the times, and how do you stay current with new trends and students' needs?
I feel it has changed. So I feel every year it's a challenge. So, for example, if it's something like English, you might be teaching the same poem over a period of time, but every year there is a different interpretation, and it could absolutely be correct. So, things are changing. But what I've also realized it that we are of course focusing a lot on NEP 2020 these days, and so we are now more acclimatized to the different kind of terms and terminologies. But I'm sure you will be able to relate with me that as teachers we've actually been doing this for a really long time, different ways
Absolutely.
and handling things, and
Mm.
helping children and overcoming challenges. But now the good thing is we actually know that there is a term for all these different things that we had been doing. And I
Absolutely.
also feel some people feel that artificial intelligence can be ignored or avoided, but as teachers I feel we have a very important role to play. If we can tell our students the ethics of using AI correctly, I feel it can be more of a benefit to them rather than a bane. And so as teachers I feel, like I said, we have to be lifelong learners, but we also have to move in sync with our students. So if we are in sync with the way they think and the world that they're in, we will remain their best friends forever. And AI might be able to bring in a lot of content, but they can never replace a good teacher. So we must remember that.
Absolutely. 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 Well said. Absolutely. So, my last question to you, Sudipta. What advice would you give to the aspiring English teachers or those who are just starting their careers?
Right. So I have felt it myself. Sometimes, you question your choices in life, and I would wonder, had I done this, what would have happened? But what changes at the end of the day is that one little note from your student saying that, you've changed my life, and thanks to you I'm doing so well. I think that's the biggest reward for us as teachers. And
Lovely.
to aspiring teachers, I would just say that you have to let people know that English is important. English is a life skill, so I think if we approach it in that manner, it
Mm.
people will take notice, and people will also kind of ensure that they give due importance to it as not just as a subject but also as a life skill. And of course, you know that a teacher's life is full of challenges, but nothing that they can't overcome. So I would just tell them that you need to be a teacher transformer and transform the lives of your students with the fantastic work you're doing. And that's all.
Wonderful. So nice, Sudipta. You came today to the Star Talks, and it's always a pleasure speaking to an educator. Thank you. Thank
My
you so
pleasure.
much. So many takeaways. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting me over.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear audience, for being with us in this lovely conversation today. I will come back with another personality who has inspired my life. Have a good day. Thank you, Sudipta.
Thank you.